Hi, today I have just a basic music theory lesson for beginner to intermediate guitar players who are getting good at their basic chords, maybe know a few bar chords, and are getting curious as to how chords, keys, and scales all work together. Any discussion of music theory starts with the major scale, and here's how you play it. I wrote it down over here in a little kind of chart. Starting on our low E string, that's 3rd fret, 5th fret, change strings, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 5th fret, change strings, 2nd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret. We've played the major scale and we realize it gives us melodies and countless others. What we may not realize is that the major scale also generates chords, and here's the way it works. For every note in the major scale, a chord is built. I wrote them down over here, and now I'm going to play them. Off of the first note, we have a G. Off of the second note, we have an A minor. Off of the third note, we have a B minor. Off of the fourth note, we have a C. Off of the 5th note, we have a D. Off of the 6th note, we have an E minor. Off of the 7th note, we have an F sharp diminished, and then a G again. Let's take a closer look at that diminished chord because it can be tricky to play. I made a picture of it over there, and here's how we do it. We're going to take our pointer finger and put it on the 1st fret of the D string. We're going to take our middle finger and put it on the 1st fret of the B string. We're going to take our ring finger and put it on the 2nd fret of the G string. And finally, we're going to take our pinky and put it on the 2nd fret of the E string. Okay, this information is useful to us two ways. The first being, if you're trying to figure out a song and you've stumbled across a G chord, maybe sussed out a C chord, there's a good bet that the other chords from the key are going to make an appearance. Maybe a D, maybe an E minor, who knows? But it gives you a way to make an educated guess to figure out what you're hearing. The other reason that this is important is if you're a songwriter and you're trying to put together a chord progression for a part of your song, knowing what chords are in the key gives you a palette to work with or ingredients to cook with. Okay, let's take a look at some progressions from the key of G and compare how they use the same information in different ways. The first is Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison. If we look at it, it's G, C, G, and then D. So if we notice, it's using only the major chords of the key, which give it that kind of simple, folky, kind of happy sound. So that's useful to know that if we want to write a song that's simple and happy and folky sounding, let's just only use the major chords from the key and we'll always sound happy. Down below we got an old-timey progression. This is from Gershwin's I Got Rhythm, which is from the 1930s. So you're going to notice it's got minor chords and it's going to have an old-timey feel to it. Next, we have G, D, E minor, C. This has been the progression that's been really popular for like the past 30 years. Most pop music will utilize it in some way. It's still G, D, and C, but there's that one E minor in there that brings just a little bit of sadness. So songs like Don't Stop Believin', Let It Be, No Woman No Cry, Under the Bridge, so many songs. As a guitar teacher, I teach this chord progression all the time. They're all in different keys, which is something we'll discuss later, but they're all using this progression, which essentially comes from gospel. past, I chose a lesser-known song, She's a Jar by Wilco, mainly because it has a B minor in it, which is not represented in any of these other examples. You're going to notice B minor has a special kind of sound to it. It's got a sad but lifty kind of sound to it, which I think is unique. So there you have it. 4 different songs, all key of G, very different sounds, but same ingredients. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.